Okay, it's 10:05. Public safety meeting is starting, 10:05. Your lawyer, Johnson, Camps, public safety, our chief couldn't make it today, so he's going to present what he has to present at our council meeting. We need the audience to be quiet, please. Is there any public comment about what's going on at our public safety meeting? No? Okay. Okay, do we have any issues other than, I would like to talk about our approval at Luigi's. You guys kind of know about it a little bit. We need to do a little bit better with that. We approved at the last council meeting for them to have a one-day liquor license. We also approved for them to block off the streets for that day with semi-trailers. Okay, we had a little problem with that. We also approved for them from 6 to 10:30. The problem that happened with the 6 to 10:30 was they went from 6 to 20 to 12. They also parked on the sidewalk. They were encroaching onto the Cuban co-op. And the biggest egregious thing, because I got an earful over the weekend from the manager of the co-op, is they had fireworks right in that spot. You know, after this thing was all over, and he said to me that he had fireworks going down his air intake vents for the gas, and he was very concerned.
Well,
Yeah, he said, and he was really mad, and I said, well, why didn't you call law enforcement, why didn't you say something? And he said, because he made it real clear to me that he was allowed to do what he wanted to do. That's what the guy said, kind of quote unquote, from the gas station. So I also got an earful from a former fire chief. Can we not talk when we're having a meeting, please? Okay, you don't talk during our meeting, please. Also, I got an earful from a former fire chief that said we should have never allowed that because the guy not only blocked off the street, but he blocked off the alleyway. And those are fire lanes, and we should check with the fire department first. So I'm going to make a recommendation for the council that if we have anything like this, we've got to know what's involved, and we should check with the fire department first. I don't know how you guys feel about it.
I just think
I think on the map, they you know, the map that they had with the sidewalks and all that, the placement with the alleys, if I remember correctly, the trailer was supposed to be past the alley, the others setting in the street. And if they placed it differently, then that's, yeah.
Could you get a copy from Joe? Because I would like to look at that, because I went and looked at it, you know, afterwards, and the way it was the street is like this, okay, and they had it down here, and they had it up here, and then they had a little thing where you could pay right here, and then the alley's right here.
Right, it should have been, and I remember him stating, because we asked that about the alley, he said that the alleys here, they were just gonna put like the snow fence barricade across
There
there.
was a pickup truck here, and then there was something, I don't know what it was, but the biggest egregious thing is you had the trailer. This is the sidewalk right here, this trailer thing was parked like on an angle up into the alley right here, like there's the cab of the truck, and it was on the property of Cuban Co-op. Now, my understanding from you is that they had to move it because they were blocking people to get out.
Yeah, they blocked the whole driveway.
Yeah.
Before they could get into the co-op, but they couldn't get out. And they would have to back up. So I thought they fixed that a little bit from what I heard, but I was downstate.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, the map I saw, they were supposed to start, you know, how the co-op it was supposed to be back further, right by, just past where, because you could enter in Luigi's through the door, and then they were going out the other. It was supposed to be down further from what the map looked like. It was closer to the alley where the one was, and they shouldn't have affected that. So they obviously put the trailers in the wrong spot.
They put the trailers where they wanted to put the
Yeah.
trailers, what happened. But we need to take closer attention, because
Yeah,
he came
we'll
here
just
all
make sure.
organized, and what he presented to us was not what we happened. We're lucky we did not have a real problem with this fireworks issue. I mean, I don't even know how, like a good business person with common sense would allow that next to a gas station to begin with. You know, I mean, that was terrible.
Just even in town. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I don't know what type of fireworks, were they just firecrackers?
I don't know, but I heard them at my house, and I'm clear on the other side of town.
I I'm just
Like I
telling you
said,
what the guy
yeah.
said. He said he had fireworks, like the ashes going down his intake vents, okay? Now, you got buildings close by as well. We could have had a horrendous fire.
I know.
That's
Obviously,
why.
the fire department wasn't notified, I mean, whether
No,
it's, yeah.
but we did this on good faith, you know, what he presented, and we didn't know about fireworks, we didn't know about parking on the
Nothing.
I
sidewalk.
guess the only thing I can say is we've learned from this, and then we have to be more
I
particular.
thought the presentation was fine. If they had stuck to that, I think it would have been all right.
Yes.
They were way off base from what the presentation was to us, so.
Well, you know, the guy at the gas station is really mad,
I bet.
you know, and maybe we should talk to the guy at the gas station and, tell him that, because I told him, I said, I apologize, I said, you know, I'm a trustee and we did not know they were gonna have fireworks. And we did not know they were gonna park in your, because that was not what was presented, but he was still angry, you know?
Yeah. Like I said, we won't let it happen again.
Mm.
We have an employee of the gas station here.
Yes,
I was assistant manager of the co-op for many years, and Rich was the one that owns Luigi's. He's well aware of where those
of course he is.
Thanks.
are because we've had problems with him in the past.
Okay.
And we've always shared the parking lot with Luigi's. It's never been a problem, but I did see the street, and that was a problem that day. I'm no longer a current employee of the co-op, but I can speak a little bit on their behalf.
All I know is when I drove by, and this was Sunday, probably about noontime, the streets were just awful.
They were full of cigarette, but there were cigarette butts everywhere. There was like the land of
Yes,
the
I didn't see the
butts.
cigarette butts, but I seen like plastic, you know, like
Shiny.
plastic spoons and all that kind of stuff. It just would have been nice if they would have.
Well, what we approved was not what he did, and I did apologize to the guy because that shouldn't have happened the way it did. That was a dangerous thing what they did. That was a very dangerous thing, and
I know.
I personally think he should be sent a letter saying that we did not approve this, and, you know, it's already done, but we are not gonna approve anything like that
They
again.
took out Calumet.
Yeah, absolutely, you're 100% right, and I agree with the guy at the co-op, that should
They
not
could
have
take
happened like that.
out blocks.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, there's 10,000 gallons.
Yes, I know.
Where are those intake valves located? Are they on the side of the building?
On the side of the building.
Yeah.
The restroom doors are right there.
Right there.
That's where they are.
Plus you got buildings, you got old dried up buildings too that are right next door, like the
Wow.
one, you know, I mean,
I'm sorry, should use common sense.
there was no common sense there. Where were the fireworks blown off from, in between the trailers? Were you there?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, see, I wasn't there
I
either.
have no idea.
Yeah. But anyways, we need to, you know, I'm gonna make a motion at the meeting that we are more stringent with this. Also, we need to probably send a letter to the guy at Luigi's saying, you know, we did not approve this, you know, that, you know, this, you know, it's already over and done, and then maybe a letter to the Kevina Co-op, because this guy was mad, you know, and I listened to him and I agreed with everything he said.
Apology, maybe.
Yes.
I think you should be responsible to clean up the parking lot at least.
The parking lot in your, okay, well, maybe we should have,
I mean, you should be nice, some way, I mean.
is it still messy over there?
I'm no longer an employee over there. so-
Okay, well, it was a mess on the streets the next morning. But we need to send a letter to both of them and state what our intentions are. Because the guy at the co-op needs to know that, you know, this is not what we approved and we will not let this happen again because that was a danger, so.
Did the streets department go down through there and clean up, or?
No, that's not their
No,
responsibility.
I'm just saying that that was.
I don't know if they did, but we need to ask.
There was
If they
shiny
did.
plastic little
Right,
things, you
right.
could see the shiny, but there was, the thing I noticed was the cigarette butts. It was like the land of the cigarette butt,
I'm sure.
you know, and somebody could have got out there with a broom and swept that up.
Yeah, I was just thinking, it's Steve, I'm Steve off, and I'm saying, if we incurred a cost to clean up the street and the sidewalks, they definitely should send them a bill for that, because that's just
I agree with
stupidity
you.
right there.
I agree with you, but they were supposed to have their own security.
Right.
Their own everything. It was supposed to be all encompassing and it turned out to be far worse than I can even imagine.
Well, you know, with the fireworks thing, they should have at least, yeah, I mean, common sense would have said they should have notified the fire department, because that's,
You wouldn't know,
that's.
your
that's
common sense would have
stupidity
said
right
you
there.
wouldn't have done it.
Yeah, they wouldn't have done it. Even having the proximity of people just smoking, because you can't smoke by a gas station. What, you work there, I'm gonna ask you another question. What is the foot away from, like, intake?
50 feet out of the
Okay, so they were real close, or maybe too close for the 50 feet. So, you know, maybe that's another issue, you know, we didn't even consider, when we did that, but
Right.
But maybe letters to both saying, you know, this is not what we said, and
We
we need
apologize.
to apologize to the other one, and almost reprimand that other guy and say, look, you were out of bounds when you did this, because he needs to be let know that if we say yes to something, that doesn't give him free rein to do whatever the heck he wants to do.
I agree.
Yeah.
I
so-
think it was misrepresented from what he had. I mean, he had
Yeah.
a nice little presentation and
Oh, yeah.
everything, but if that's what went down, it wasn't exactly what he.
No, it wasn't the time constraints, but I never thought about the proximity to the gas station, even smoky noise, that's pretty darn close.
Well, I was looking at that, and then the access to the alleys on his diagram, and we asked him specifically about the alleys for access, and he said they will not be blocked, they will just be
They
a
will
snow
block.
fence, and yeah, that's,
The truck blocked the one by the gas station. I mean, that was up on the gas station property, and the other one was a pickup truck with something, and you know, so you couldn't see through.
And the stage was,
I don't even know where it was.
just the way the stage from the diagram, I remember, they were gonna have the door to Luigi's, and then have the main stage, and then they could exit out the other, so it was basically part of the building
Yeah.
as a block, and, yeah, where they put that, I don't know.
I don't know, we just have to be more cautious, because something like that could have turned into a big tragedy, you know?
Oh, yeah.
You know, even though, and we didn't even, he said he had all the insurance and stuff, I think we need to next time, like, show it to us, you know, have copies in the office, because you can say whatever you want, your lips can roll off anything, but that doesn't mean you got it, okay? So we need to have that in place as well.
double protect
Yeah,
ourselves.
protect yourselves, so. All right, is there anything else about, public safety we need to address? Anderson couldn't be here, but he's going to address what he needs to address. I don't know if they got the new light
I
put
will
in.
say one thing, I am seeing more patrols, of our vehicle on the road, it's moving. I know the one night that Angie worked, she was patrolling 5th and 6th quite a bit.
Very good, yeah.
But I'm seeing more presence, more activity, you know, sometimes obviously the car sits there, but it is moving more. There is a presence, so.
That doesn't mean out and about though, too, because you can get out of your vehicle. You don't have to go in a vehicle to.
Right, no, but I'm just saying, I'm seeing,
Well,
I'm seeing more activity
Right.
And
than.
that's what the people want. They want to see our police officer.
And I do know, I don't know whether it's, they've made a conscious effort, but I know that the state has a few new recruits, so to speak, and I know that they're patrolling a little more, because I'm seeing, you know, and they look like 12-year-olds driving the car.
Well, that's what they have to do before they're.
Right, but I'm just saying,
Yeah.
the presence of
The police department.
even the county has been in town a little more, I think, recently.
Be upset.
Yeah.
But, no, it's good to see, for them to know that we're concerned. I did, been still trying to find a parking place for our car, because we're gonna need it for winter. Everything I've done so far has fallen through. I have talked to the people at the museum and gave them information. I talked to John Sullivan and the guy that's there every day, that we might need a spot right there.
But you were talking ground floor, we're not talking down?
No, ground floor. No.
Yeah, we need, because they could move that, they could move the stuff when they're all done being a museum for the summer. They could move some of that stuff back and we could have, you know, a key to go in there. It's gonna be a perfect spot.
Unless we can find something else that.
But that's really
might work.
close.
Well, the other one I thought about is I don't know logistically, is Mike Lottie has, next to the laundromat, he's got, there's a door goes, but I think logistically going across the sidewalk, it's gonna be too much up and down, like the back of the museum would be.
This one, right, this building right next to the motel or.
Yeah, between the motel and the laundromat. I think
He owns
I
that's-
that
don't
one?
know, Mike Lottie owns that.
I don't know, I think he does. I don't know
I
for
didn't know
sure.
that Mike Lottie owned that.
I know a long time ago.
Was Ken
Ken Rowe.
Ken Rowe, it might be
Senior.
Ken, it might be Ken's, I don't know.
But I really looked at that, walking.
But that's
That's another thing, and then that would be more snow removal for our village.
Right.
Because I feel no matter where the car is, we need to
Yeah, I
take
don't know
care of
if
that.
Mike or Ken might own that one, because I know that Mike actually doesn't own the building, Andrew does, his son.
Which
The
building?
laundromat- The laundromat.
Oh, his son owns the laundromat?
Actually, yes, that's actually Andrew's name, but I don't know the property. per se.
Okay.
I don't know if it, but
Ken
I
Rowley used to own
think
that.
Ken still, yeah, it could be Ken that owns that, I'd have to look at the property.
How about that little, remember you mentioned the little garage that's next to where,
I had not called out.
Okay.
Well, what I was
So
thinking
that's
is even
one-
the one at the back, the back side of the, but the problem is
I
there's such a water
Yeah.
problem there. and that's- don't know if
I
that
already
would-
looked all back there,
Yeah,
that would
that's
not
not
be
gonna-
feasible at all.
So did I kind of look at something, like I
Yeah.
said, within a block of the,
Yeah, and, there's other ones that are blocks away that I've looked at, but it's not feasible for our car to be close to the station. So I'm still looking, but I have spoken to those people that you have to keep us in mind because we most likely will need a space there for
at the
winter.
museum?
Yes,
I think we should just gel that up and say, look, when is your closing date? And then find out when their closing date is, and if they need any help to like move anything, we can get our street department over there to move.
they'll handle all their
Yeah,
own.
but we should gel that up because it's August, and then it's gonna be September, and just gel it up, be done, because that is in
Yeah.
close proximity for
Right,
sure.
so I'm working on it.
yeah. Well, the other thing too is, and I thought about, and it would be an expense for us, is we own the property.
White Buckos?
By Buckos, we have to build a building, I mean, that's, but that would be a
Remember,
toughie.
At a council meeting, I even said this, think of us building a garage.
I think over by the street department would be better.
Because the cement is there, so you wouldn't have to pour cement. If you actually wanted, you could attach it to a metal building. You could attach it to the old one that's there, so that would mean 3 walls instead of 4 walls. Make it longer.
Let me ask you this though, Sandy, where the cement pad is, because I've been by there like 100 times and really not noticing stuff. Is there another cement pad that's on the other side? Like, okay, the building is here, and then the big parking lot. Is there another one closer to that old church right there? Right there?
There's, if you really look.
So
I
you
think
want it
there's two.
attached to the garage? Because that garage is kind of iffy.
All I'm saying is,
Could it
if
be
you
on the
wanted
other
to
side?
save money, that's what you could do. But you would have to make sure it's high enough because of snow. Because if you have it lower, then it's just gonna blow out the big roof and.
Yeah, I think it would probably be more cost effective to build a new one, because if you gotta start doing the slope of the roof, you know about that at the cottage, what a pain.
You know
that
that
is.
where I live.
Yeah, it's kind of a thing. Has anybody ever looked into the cost of that?
No.
'Cause that
If
would
you
be-
just look at, your Menards ad and that kind of stuff, you can get a metal building, you could do it. But
You could get a
have to
garage
go-
package for like, under $10,000. I mean, it isn't,
But yeah, you can get.
but you gotta put it together.
Right.
Right.
So, like I said, no, we haven't, but it's something that we really need to think about. And I even looked across the street at the coffee shop because they closed.
I was gonna say, that's another thought, but I don't know what's in that one.
But
I didn't get in there though.
there's this, but I looked in there, the one on the side off of Fifth Street, they have, a lot of equipment in there and that room is not big enough for a car.
That's what I didn't think it was.
It used to be, I remember when that was Franny Sturt's gas station, that's not that many years ago, it was a little gas station.
But if, if those doors were still in on this side, then it would be possible.
But it's not, yeah, they're not.
So, like I said, I have really been walking around looking and seeing the one over, on 7th Street next to where we were before it. I'm thinking of snow removal, I'm thinking of, okay, those doors, how we're gonna get in and out of them really easy. And I think the museum is right at this bet, is the best bet, unless you can.
I think I think you're 100% right, it's the best bet for now until we can get,
One
something else. Yeah, get one built, because I think that there's an absolute need for a garage, and if we did build one now by by where the street department is, it's never gonna go to waste. I mean, this is.
No, when Steve was talking about, you know, locating one down off Third.
That's too far.
Well,
That might be.
it is and it isn't. But what I'm saying is if Steve moved all the major equipment down here,
We could have that.
we could have that.
Yeah.
Okay, it's not,
Because I even talked to Steve about putting the car in there. Like,
It's horrible in
even
there.
for summertime, but it would still be very difficult for
It's, yeah, the way that's set up, that would be really difficult.
under there.
Yeah.
he doesn't
Yeah,
have the proper space for the equipment that
he
we
does
have
not
to
have
start
proper
with.
space.
No, so,
So maybe we could gel this up for this year and look at, maybe there's some grass available, maybe there's, you know, we can, you know,
Or-
we do the budget, like, you know, budget 10 grand and build a small, simple garage.
because we
it can
thought
be
if the
anything.
fire department ever, or we decided. to
Yeah, I mean,
build-
it'd be perfect if it was one side of this,
So
but
like I said, there's few options if they ever decide to. or
move
we-
the trucks.
Yes.
Leave it at that.
And don't rent that part out.
Oh, this would never
Right.
get rented out, the village
That's my opinion.
desperately needs spots for that.
So, okay,
Okay, anything with the fire department, Joe? After we had the fire department guys here last week, is there any follow-up on any of that?
I've seen most all the guys in the last couple of weeks, you know, randomly through town, and none of them have really approached me and screamed anything, so I think that.
Because the only thing I've heard for follow-up, like when we had 4 guys here last week, there must have been some pretty heavy-duty talk to make 4 guys leave work to come here, okay? And the only thing I heard from another fireman with Calumet Township was, he told me that he had heard that the township had approached us with, we need a second pumper because the pumper's dead and we'll take 4 of your guys. That's the gossip he heard, which is pure gossip.
yeah.
And then get rid of the fire department here, and that's the way it is. So I don't know if
And
it's a true story.
I've heard rumors and it's just.
It's all rumors,
And
yeah.
I even hate to
It's
mention
a,
it.
it's a wish list from the township because they're
Right.
hurting and they.
But
know
when
our
you got
do
4
a
guys
good
sitting
job.
here and
Yeah,
they're concerned
Well,
about it.
yeah, they're freaking out, I get that.
We need to like kind of shut that down at all. Is there any other, you know, well, that's financial, like with the fire department, like anything going on with the fire
Not
department?
that I've heard, anything I hear is rumor,
Okay.
and I don't wanna,
No, I don't want
I
to.
wanna talk rumor
No, we don't want to,
until,
we don't want to go into that, but, yeah.
I think
don't-
as far as safety, obviously we've addressed the Luigi issue. The fire department, I think they're holding their own.
Yeah, I think fire
Police, I think is
department's
a definite presence have been increased.
Yeah, I don't think, is there anything else that we need to
nothing
discuss?
that I can think of.
Yeah, because my big thing for me was the car issue, what we got, and if you could gel that up, that'd be awesome.
Yeah,
You know, and at least we'll have this winter and we can think about other options that,
The only other thing, and obviously with Keith not here, is did he get the with
the
the
light.
light with you know, because it's
Yeah,
getting
I
darker
don't know.
sooner and that'd be one
Like I
thing.
said, I just got back into town last night, so.
well, he'll be at the meeting next
Right,
Thursday,
right.
so we can address all those things.
If
Because
he set that up or anything.
if you've ever been in there, in the daytime it's bad, but at night it's
It's
like,
horrible.
it's
It's horrible.
horrible. It's such
No,
a big
it's a
safety
big
issue.
safety issue, yes, I agree.
Yeah, it's not.
Otherwise,
That's not a good thing. All right, well, is there anything else? There's nothing else? I don't have a watch on, so you're gonna have to help me with the time.
make a motion to adjourn.
Oh, yeah, and I will second that motion.
10:30.
10:30. Awesome.
But I will talk to John.
Yeah, that would be if we can get it over there, that'd be awesome.
And maybe, I know it's our building, but maybe we can, because they're gonna lose revenue.
Not in the winter time, they're not open.
Yes, they do, they rent space out, their place is chock
Oh, okay, but we own the building.
All I'm saying is,
I understand.
Yeah, I know what you're
One
saying.
space. I mean,
yeah,
yeah.
you know, so what.
It has to be the in-own space. It
Right,
can't be
right,
the-
right, right.
Oh, they already know that.
Yeah.
We can talk about.
So the yellow tape off the spot, we pull in, we pull out, and we rent that. There's, yeah.
And they just need to know that that we're doing the best we can until we get something better. This is not forever, supposedly.
We're good.
Cool.
All right, see ya.
All right.